Well, hello lovely people. It is a Thursday morning and I am supposed to be on my way to Hereford. But as you can see, I am very much still in bed and need to have a shower and need to pack, da-da-di-da-di-da, etc, etc, etc. And I am a little jaded today. So, I'm having to adjust my expectations quite considerably at the minute. So I was hoping to get to Hereford for lunchtime, set up my tent and then go head off somewhere. I've got a guidebook, this one here. It has mainly routes for the Forest of Dean, that's why I got it. Because that's easy to get to from Cheltenham, but it has some also Hereford way, so I'm looking forward to exploring some of that, but that won't be this afternoon. I think I'll probably be ending up arriving into Hereford later on, so I've no idea. It's thrown all my plans out the window, but I think that's going to be a bit of a nature of this trip. Have lots of ideas, take a pick of one and then run with it, rather than having a very defined plan, because I think my health isn't really firing all cylinders. I booked this trip very last minute during last week. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning one day and decided, right, I'm heading to Hereford. Had a look at accommodation and noticed the campsite was free, so I was like, right, book that, and that was that. And now I'm living with the consequences, and I am looking forward to getting away. I think when I did my charity trip, I passed through Hereford and I knew that I'd want to go back and do some exploring, just because to travel to a lot of that area from home here in Cheltenham, it takes a long time and some dedication and a good few buses and trains to get there, whereas a lot of the things that I'm planning to do over the next few days are what I call one bus wonders. So you just get on a bus and then head to wherever you're going, and that is far easier than the complicated, convoluted journeys I normally make to get to the Brecon Beacons. So I'm going to be mainly spending my time either in the Black Mountains or surrounding area. I'm going to be there until Tuesday late morning, so I've got plenty of time really, but I'm not going to squeeze in absolutely everything that I could ever do in 4 or 5 days, just because I don't think I've got the capacity for that. I think one of the reasons why I'm quite tired today is because yesterday I was looking at this map and I realised it's quite hard to walk into the Black Mountains from bus stops. There's just hardly any, and they're in the north and the very south, so you have to really walk in. Some of the lovely walks from the main road on the left hand side. I'm trying to think what the A road is. I don't think it lists it on here. No, it doesn't. But there's an A road that connects to the west of the Black Mountains, but there's no bus that runs up there, and that would be an ideal spot to do some walking. So it's just sad, isn't it? But there's a bike hire centre in Hay-on-Wye, and I was thinking, oh, if only I could do some cycling, because then I could definitely reach a lot of the Black Mountains, because it just time-wise it takes less time to cycle. So, but I always get quite despondent because most hire centres have a limited selection of bikes, so they'll have the adult bikes and they'll go down to a person of maybe 5'2", and I'm 4'9.5" and 147 centimetres, something like that, and most of the bikes are 152 centimetres or above, and I do just find they're a little bit too big and I can get away with it, but I end up doing like my bum ends up going from side to side in order to cycle. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. And then if you go to a kid's bike, often the wheel diameter goes down to a 24-inch. So, and then you're just having to work loads harder for the same distance, and I'm unfit. I need all the help I can get. So I very much was over the moon when I noticed that they did junior bikes that have a 26-inch wheel, which is just the same as a lot of adult bikes. So but I was so happy that I ended up having a bit of an energy crash and needed to lie down after. So that's how excited I became about the fact that there's a hire centre that caters for me, which is unusual. But it does mean that I'm quite tired today, and I don't even think I'm going to have a chance to do some cycling this trip anyway. Just financially need to watch things a bit. So, but it's just great to know it's there, and there are plenty of other things that I can do. I've got the guidebook walks. There's lots of other little places to go and explore, so I'm not going to be bored. And I can just catch a bus somewhere and go and have a lay down. So, you know, I don't have any big expectations. I'm just going to take it as it comes. But I have got quite a to-do list, and they say there's that phrase, analysis paralysis, where you think so much that you don't do anything. And I feel like I've had a morning where my to-do list has felt so overwhelming that I've not done any of it. So I've focused mainly on just getting some food down me, meds on time, the usual every day. And I'm just ploughing through at a snail pace, just taking a chunk at a time. Getting through it, because I know it'll be worth it, tidying my flat before I leave, because then I'll come back and it'll be all nice. But it's just a slog this morning, and a bit of a shame that I'll miss this afternoon to investigate the local area. I don't know what I'll end up doing. Feels a little bit of a waste of today, but I think my main aim is just to get out the door and get there, and I feel like if I achieve that is actually quite monumental. So I shouldn't really beat myself up for not making my plans when my plans were probably a little bit of a stretch at the best of times. So expectations, that's what I need to manage, I think, over the next few days. But I'm really looking forward to the trip, and I hope you'll enjoy journeying with me. I have made it to Hereford. I have my tent set up, and I couldn't be happier. I'm absolutely knackered. Very simple journey. I got the bus to Gloucester, and then the next bus straight here. It's just a long old journey, but it was so nice. As you come into Hereford, there's a hill you go down, and you can see over the valley, and then you can see in the distance, and you can see Haybluff, and I think I saw Sugarloaf and Skirrid as well, if I'm not completely geographically inept. So this campsite is very much city centre, so if you heard that siren, I did too. I have a feeling it's going to be a lively night, perhaps few nights, but yeah, it's quite cool. I can see all the rowing boats, and I'm very tempted to commandeer one, but I don't think that will go down too well, so I will behave. Yeah, I best not sit here too long, otherwise I won't want to get back up. But the nice thing is they have a bar open tonight, so I won't have to go into town to get a drink, so happy days. See you when I have a load of food. Welcome back. I am absolutely spent, as in I'm knackered. That was a nice walk though to Asda. You go out the rowing club and you turn as if you're going west along the river a little bit, and then there's a bridge that you cross, and then you go back on yourself, and Asda's just the other side, so it wasn't too bad of a walk. It was a nice walk, a good few runners around, which I don't blame them because it's a nice area. And then when you get up onto the bridge, there's a bit of a cycle lane, and I've seen it on maps, and it seems to lead out of the city. And I noticed that because funnily enough, whenever I get somewhere, I'm thinking, well, how do you get out? And especially if I wanted to do some cycling, I wondered if I'd be able to get out the city without having to go along a load of main roads. And it's really nice. It looks like it's a really nice little trail, so that's encouraging if ever I did some cycling in this area, or if ever I moved around here and felt like I needed to get out and about. So that's nice. I've got the most randomest selection of food. For tea I've got classic beans and wraps, so Living Wild, and I've got a real mixture of just junk. I wouldn't normally have this selection of junk, however I do feel like I'm pretty bad at eating, and I need to work out if there's anything I can eat when I'm not hungry, and if it's junk, it's junk. I probably won't need to eat all of the junk at the same time, if that makes sense. So I only feel like I need a little bit of junk, and then I'll have something healthy to eat. But I need to find that initial thing of hit. So yes, and some of them are, like I've got some porridges. I don't know what to make of protein porridge pot. Don't know if I want chocolate porridge in the morning. We'll soon find out. And I Live Wild. I love these crisps, and I've never had them be able to get them at home, and so when I saw them in Asda I got a little bit excited. And my friend sometimes gets them when she's in I don't know where she goes, where she does her shopping, but she lives completely, the other end of the country. She's in North Wales near the borders, and so I do go up and see her fairly often, and whenever I do, I try and find these crisps because I know they have them that way. So I feel very excited that I've found some, and yeah, I've got some a nice glass of wine that I don't have a glass for. Probably will drink it out of the bottle because I'm such a glassy bird. And on that lovely note, I am going to do my back exercises because I am in agony. I think my fibromyalgia is definitely making my hips my hips are letting me know that they're there. But I know that I will feel so much better once I've done some exercise, and I know getting moving and doing that little walk to Asda probably did them the world of good, even if I was breathing like I was in labour on the way back. But yeah, it's quite nice to get out for a little walk. But now I'm sat down. I don't even feel like I want to go to the bar. It's that very unsocial, isn't it? And yes, but that's where I'm at. Cheers, everybody. That is one of the juiciest mosquito fly things I have ever seen. Go henceforth from where you came, you beast. I had no idea how much I was licking my lips throughout this. So I think that's the first time I've actually eaten a full camping meal without forcing every morsel into me. Towards the end I really did have to persuade myself to finish it off, but actually tin chili is the way to go for me. Clearly I had the little donut in the beginning, so whether that wet my whistle for food I'm not sure, but what I'll do is tomorrow when I'll be coming home from a bit of a hike in the evening, I'll have a donut and we'll see if I still think it tastes the same, because that'll be interesting to see whether my taste buds really do change after I've been out for a walk. But anyways, I'm excited. I've been looking at the nutritional information on this, and I've realised it's got 28 grams of protein, 14 grams, I'm not going mad, 14 grams for half a can, and I've eaten the whole thing. That's mad. I'm gonna be feeling buff tomorrow. And calorie wise, it's 268 times 2, so that's 536. I'll do the calculation and put it on the screen. But either way, that's pretty darn good. So I mean, it's probably got quite a lot of salt in that I shouldn't really be having, but I'm very happy with that. I think I may well see about one of those camping dehydrated meals and have a chili con carne if that's something that I might tolerate. Yeah, and if not, I'm definitely going back to this. It's just a bit weighty. Celebration time. Honestly, I never thought I would find something that I'd actually want to eat when out camping. Result. Oh, and the other thing to say is this place is just bustling with life and I love it. I can hear weird music, clubbing music in the background, and it's quite cool because there is a party girl in me and I shouldn't be going clubbing looking like this, and I definitely wouldn't be. So I feel like I'm getting a bit of the experience without actually having to go clubbing, so this is good. And also you hear a lot of young people the other side. They're obviously doing some kind of camp out, which sounds great. I wonder if they're doing like a practice DFE or something. It looks like they're having a lot of fun anyway. And yeah, you can probably hear the boy racers in the background, which I'm definitely not necessarily going to get too excited about, but it's just nice to feel that buzz without it being like a city buzz, if that makes sense. I really like this place already. It's got a decent cycle way to get out of the city, which is important to me, and it just feels like it's got a bit of oomph without being bonkers. Perhaps that'll come later, but alas, I think it's time to just wind down, if that's possible. So it's about 8:30 and I'm already in my base layering bed clothes, so I am not going to the bar now. It is so nice and warm, but it's humid outside. It's not so bad in here, but when I was walking to Asda, I did notice how muggy it was, and there are storms around here. You can see the storm clouds in the distance, so yeah, it's going to be a muggy one, I think. And actually this is the first time I've not felt that crispness of air whilst camping, so it's going to be strange. It would be too hot. That would be a change, wouldn't it? I don't have my hot water bottle with me today. I thought, no, it's too mild for that jazz. Definitely not. But yeah, there's so much noise going around. There's a load of people having fun, which is great to hear. And I think I'm just gonna gradually wind down. I've got earplugs if I need them. But yeah, what a lovely day. Glad I finally got out. I know what I was going to say. I was going to go through my sleep system with you while I've got oomph and while it's light. So today I have my Big Agnes Rapide. It's the petite version, so it means that I've got all that nice space at the end. So this mat is quite far up. I probably will try and get it to go further down before I actually head to sleep. But it means that in my one-man tent I should be able to fit my rucksack at the end, and I almost took my Wild Country Hound one with me today, but I thought I'm going to be plonking myself here for a good amount of time. I probably need the space. Yes, I think is the answer to that. I think I probably would take the Hound one on a long distance trail maybe, or like for my overnighters it's perfect. But I think for this type of trip, I think a bit more space is just nice. But it's good to know that this pad really will give me that extra space at the end. And my sleeping bag is the Nemo Forte 35. So it's a synthetic bag, and here we are. It's all the details there, women's version, because I again wanted that shorter one. It says it goes down to 2, but I've taken it down to freezing and been absolutely fine, perhaps with another layer on, which I wouldn't, it's not a winter bag by any means, but it's a good 3 season into winter, definitely, and a really good spring bag, I think, as well. One of the things I like about this bag as well, because it's synthetic, I feel like I can it's not as precious as, say, some of the down bags you get, and it feels quite flimsy when you first get it, but actually it is strong and it is really well made. Sleeping bags of these kind of brands can be quite expensive, but actually I got this at a good deal. I think about 120 a few years ago. I reckon you could get a good deal on it now. It's about 170 in a lot of places. I think everything has gone up, isn't it? But it's a really good synthetic bag, and it's got a wide spoon shape, so it's good for wriggly sleepers like me. In my Rabicent 300 I was fine, but I didn't quite get into the recovery position that I normally do, whereas in this bag I can sleep in the normal position as I would at home. I don't fidget a lot in my sleep, really. If I do fidget, it's from one side to the other on my front, so I don't find it a big drama in the night anyway. It's just a really nice bag. I think it weighs about 1.25 kilos, so it's reasonable for a 3 season bag, I think. It compresses fairly small. I've got a 14 litre dry bag that I squish it into. I can get it into a 10 litre dry bag, however I think that dry bag just doesn't suit this sleeping bag, if that makes sense. I think the material doesn't slide as nicely, so I reckon I'm going to try a few different brands of dry bags and see which one contains this the best, because the compression bag that you get with these sleeping bags is brilliant, but it makes it into a bit of a ball, and so you get wasted space in my sleeping bag, whereas I find using the dry bag you can really give it a good squish, and squish it to the size and of your rucksack. Basically, you can make it fit a lot better. I feel like I utilise the space a lot more. So yeah, really I love this sleeping pad. I've used it about 3 or 4 times now. I would say though it's definitely warm, definitely fine for winter, especially with the underlay pad that I use, like a foam mat. Well, no, it is a foam mat. Definitely into winter I wouldn't have any problems, even with snow on the ground. I think with that little mat on, I think that would be fine. But one thing I've realised is there's just about 1 centimetre or half a centimetre where my body's just not quite on, because I'm a little bit wide, and so it's not that that's uncomfortable, it's more that in cold weather that's not getting insulated, and so it meant that on my charity trip there were definitely a few moments where I felt the cold on the edges of me, and it's simply because it wasn't actually on the mat, it was in the air. So I think for true winter, if I really need it, I probably will be looking at a wide pad. I'll definitely in the next 6 months to a year think about getting something that just will fit all of me. It would be annoying because I'd have to get a normal length, and I don't like wasting space, but at the end of the day, if it's not going to keep me warm because it's not wide enough, that's not great. So that's a conundrum, and it may be that I over the summer decide that that's ridiculous and I just will put up with this, but just keep that in mind. It's not just about comfort, it's about what's it doing, and something that little bit wider I think would just suit me a bit better. Not for comfort, because I'm very comfortable on this pad. I really love it. And my pillow is the lovely Trek pillow from Decathlon. I love this so much. I've washed the cover a few times now and it is held up fine. This foam bit sometimes, you know, once you've washed things, you have to flatten it out a bit, but honestly still as comfortable as it was. I've had it about a year and a bit and had some good use out of it. I don't know what you're supposed to slip in there, but whatever you do, you can. Yeah, I just really find this comfortable, and you can easily let the you can adjust the air flow really easily. Fairly easy to wrap up, to roll up and put back in at the end, which that's really nice. There's no wrestling it in. What else? It is a little bit bulky, but I don't think it's heavy. I mean, I know you can get those pure air pillows, but I just don't think you'll get the comfort that you get with this little foam layer as well. It's just joy to sleep on, and for the extra few grams, I just think that's well worth it. I mean, you know, you can quite easily just shove stuff in your clothes and stuff. I mean, I used to do that, but for the sake of, I think, is it 90 grams, 70 grams, something like that. I'll put the weight on the screen now somewhere up here, and so you can see for yourself. But honestly, I think for the sake of a few more grams than the like the Trekology pillows or something like that, the pure inflatable ones, I just think these are way more comfortable. But that's just me. So that is my sleep system, and yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a good testing out tonight, especially as it's going to be quite a bit warmer than I'm used to. So I think it might actually be getting dark now. I think the sun has set and I'm properly snuggled up, and I am going to bid you all good night. I don't think anything exciting is going to happen other than the boy races carry on. They sound like barking chihuahuas. I prefer vehicles that purr like a cat. Not these barky, wimpy things. Anyways, on that lovely note, good night.